how did I meet my wife? I had TB. At the time, the doctors would put a great big horse's thing into your left side where the bad TB was. And by the way, you get on any bus, you breathe, and there's TB germs laying there. The whole country was full of this. The dust from a car. If you have immunity, you fight it off. I didn't after 7 months. And so I got TB, and the doctor would put this shot in to make this one, you know, relaxed. And so I was in this hospital, and I got a letter from a Montana pastor. He says, I just met the most beautiful, the most talented, the most blankly blank, wonderful lady. And if you don't go down to the boat and meet Lila Finsauce, I'll stop sending you $10 a month support. Okay, I'll be down there. But I caught pink eye, and I couldn't see. And so, conjunctivitis, they call it. So I didn't go. Here I'm preaching at a tent meeting, and I see a blonde and a redhead vaguely walk in front, and one's playing the accordion. So on the way back in the Jeep, I said, hey, Ralph, who are those two new missionary kids? Missionary kids, nothing. Those were missionaries. And name? Anna Nelson and Lila Finsauce. Uh-oh, that's the name I was supposed to go to the boat and meet. Hello. But she just got through with throwing a boyfriend over, and she come over here to be a missionary, and no more boys, no more men. And we bachelors had signed our name in blood, bachelors till the rapture, and 16 of us. But one by one, they were picked off. And I met her. I was pushed out by Fred Jarvis and Norman Grubb. Go meet that girl. So I go to meet her. I try to help her. She says, it's okay, I'm doing fine. Finally, we went on a date. It was raining, and we were walking down a muddy path. And from Bob Jones, you don't touch a girl, 6-inch rule. And at Prairie, you don't even, it's even worse than that. So we go to this meeting, and we're coming home, and there's a big puddle in the middle of the little road. I said, here's my chance. Here, take my hand, I will go. She says, that's okay, I can do it. So I'm walking around on the shrubs, getting out of the water, and she falls flat into the water, face down, into the mud. And I said, here's my chance, I can get to hold her hand. She says, it's okay, just take my Bible. And she slops right home, and the girl where she's living said, what happened? And that's the way I had our first date. Took her to the most expensive restaurant I could for our first meal, and the waiter brought us aspirin. I guess we had that sick cow look in our face. Never before or since have we got aspirin. And to make a long story short, 6 months, and I got down on my knees in the car, and I said, Lila, would you marry me? And she says, yes. Now get up off the where you in the front seat. So I went to American, got a wedding suit, and I came back, and we got married. And this is in the Christian Union Church in Cardi's up in the mountains. And all the missionaries were there, all the team missionaries, 100 of us. How many missionaries, MacArthur missionaries are left? I'm writing a series of articles called MacArthur Missionaries and McDonald Missionaries, bringing out the past. I would say 10,000 missionaries came. I mean, that's including the 90-day wonders, the visiting firemen, and all the, the tourist missionaries. You can get 3 months to work in Japan. But out of those 10,000, the last two of my best friends, Ralph and Dave, have gone to heaven. There's only 3. You asked me what my epitaph would be. Well, since my brother drowned, I feel like I have 2 men on my shoulders. One says, write the vision and make it plain. The other one says, go into all the world and preach the gospel. So I'm a preacher and a writer. I got here, there was no book for missionaries to learn how to preach. So I wrote, my friend and I, 2 books for missionary language study. Went to teach at the Christian college after I had TB. No work, no books on evangelism, personal evangelism, so I wrote 3 books. And now I'm writing for a unsaved news magazine every week to all the 100,000 foreigners in Japan. So write the vision and preach the gospel, double-barreled.
Well, if it was a person, it would probably be my Aunt Alma that I wrote that book about, because she was like a big sister to me through the years. In fact, I didn't know wonder, but she was about the same age as my brothers, my older brothers, and since I didn't have a sister, she was very special to me. And I wondered why we didn't call her Aunt Alma. Well, because she was like a big sister. But she was very special to me, and a godly woman and just normal living, and a teacher on 3 continents. And so I would say that she probably influenced me. How would I like people to remember me? As putting Jesus first in everything. I would say work hard. Learn to work hard. This is a day of, I know people that get, here in Japan, that get money from the government, and I think if they went out and dug ditches or something, they'd be better off, physically, emotionally, mentally. So I would say work hard at whatever you do. Never let things come between you. We have to have the ceiling off between us and God, and the walls down between us and people. Relationships are very important, and if something comes between you and somebody else, it hinders prayer and hinders our fellowship, so we have to keep the walls down. Well, marriage, I think it's very important. You don't rush into it, and you be sure to get God's will and how He will lead you. A lot of divorce these days, and often the children are caught. And so it's important to be sure who you marry, that it's God's choice. To keep close to each other and help each other and encourage each other, and not let things come between you. Just keep a good relationship with the Lord and with each other. Well, it can never become a God to us, and it has to be a means to an end. All the different things we do, money would help us, but we can never just be living for money. If I could change one thing about my life, well, I think I would tell my children more, I would teach them more when they're little, things that they will lead later on. Yeah, I think that's the thought. I would teach them from the time they're younger things that they will meet later on. Because once they're grown up, you better stay out of their lives, pretty much. Well, we haven't retired because we keep busy and we keep well. And we enjoy our work. And I'm never looking for more jobs. I got more jobs than I could handle. And as long as we're physically able, I don't see why we should retire.